How do we... We don't have any hangover destroyer here today, which
All
is...
right. All right, got it.
Yep, okay.
Ready.
It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you. Because that's New Orleans, and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar today, we're at the fabulous Wayfair on Ferret Street, where they used to have a sign that was right across from me that listed all the various specials and half-price stuff they had going on here. But that's unfortunately gone in 2018. So now it's left to me to remember to tell you that they have a 3-hour happy hour here every day of the week.
It's one of my favorite places.
Isn't it? April Dupree is here from WWL TV.
Yes.
And first time on a podcast or not?
No.
What was the last one you did? What's going on that? Oh, that's our show.
That's us, yeah.
Well, that's off-putting.
Podcast Inception.
Yeah.
What was the last podcast you did, April?
Oh, it was 3 women from New Orleans, and for the life of me, I cannot remember the name
Thomas.
of their
Thomas, our tech
podcast.
person,
oh my
does
gosh.
that.
I am
the ladies who? It's
the
called.
ladies. Yes.
Was it?
Exactly. Yes. At Festivals.
What did you talk about?
Women empowerment. It was during
Women
the
empowerment. These guys are into women empowerment as well, right?
Of course.
Chris Hockeppel was here and Bob
We should
Klein
all be
from the
into
band
women empowerment.
from the band Burris. Do you know the band Burris, you guys?
No, but I'm
Okay.
interested to learn more.
Chris does. Chris is the founding member of the band Burris, right?
That's right.
Now, how come people have not heard of it, including me, until today?
That's because we just relocated here a year ago. Yeah, we were from Baton Rouge, which honestly is not that far down the way. But
It's not that far.
That stretch of nothing, I guess, is enough to get people to not know. But we relocated here in New Orleans a year ago and been enjoying it ever since.
What made you move?
Well, New Orleans.
You're just drawn by the power of gravity?
Of course, this is the place to be for a musician. We're
Really?
having the time of our lives.
And what were you doing in Baton Rouge in the first place?
Studying, going to college.
Right. Bob, what were you studying?
Well, I studied music at LSU. I'm actually from Baton Rouge, so I would have been just hanging out there anyways.
Right.
I decided I might
So
as
you
well go
didn't
to
go
school.
away to college, you just stayed home?
No, the TOPS thing, they offered me some money.
What is
and
TOPS? That's for smart kids.
TOPS is for smart kids.
How did you get into that?
It turns out I did all right in school.
Come on.
I tested all right on the ACT and
what
stuff.
What did you get for your ACT?
I got a 30.
A 3.
You got
a 30.
You got a
30.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
better
Now,
than
Bob
me.
Walker's here from WTIX. This guy's a fucking legend. You
right.
people are too young to know about WTIX,
But
right?
put it into perspective. You guys went to LSU, and so did I.
All right.
And if you've ever listened to the campus radio station there, I was the one that launched it in 1965.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's cool.
Back then, it was called WLSU.
Okay.
And their first show was my first show.
Awesome.
That's cool. We
So-
spent a lot
I've
of
been on
time
that,
on
yeah.
KLSU.
I can tell
yeah.
you have that good radio voice.
He's a
Cool.
legend. Have you ever heard WTIX?
It's well honed, believe me. Many years, many
Sure.
years.
So your first ever radio gig, Bob, number one, was on
On WLSU.
It was called WLSU.
WLSU
Now
in
it's called
1965.
KLSU.
November 15th, 1965.
I'm writing that down.
At 3
So
p.m.
You're 21. Right?
Yeah.
November 15th.
We'll go with that.
Back to the
1965.
future.
At 3 p.m. That was your first time ever on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the first thing you said?
You know, it's funny.
I'm hoping it's going to be funny. That's what I'm
Everybody I
counting.
know, myself included, that has made a career out of radio, they all have the same story that when, as much as you anticipate it, and oh boy, I can't wait to get there and do it, when you sit there for the first time and you open the mic, and all of a sudden you don't hear anything and you realize it's got to come out of your mouth. It's like, So you just say the call letters, you know. WLSU, it's 3 p.m. That's sort of...
Right. Well,
That's kind of limp, I know, but that's what people do.
That's how you started out.
Uh-huh.
And what made you want to get into radio in the first place? How old were you? You were 1965. You
19.
Were 3.
Mm-hmm.
You were 19.
I was 19.
Okay. So
And
what made you want to be in radio? Was it a cool thing to do in those days?
I always did. Radio was cool when I was a kid, and it was entirely different than it is now. The people the disc jockeys, they were fun guys, and they were live, and you could call them up and talk to them. And I was an only child, and I think the radio was the siblings that I never had. I would be up till late at night calling these guys to request and, just to talk to them and all. And it fascinated me to know that my voice or their voice would be getting into houses and cars across town. And not only that, but if you had a good wave skip, you could be broadcasting to Nashville or Cleveland or someplace in Nebraska.
Wave
and
skip is not a term you hear very often anymore.
No, not on
wave
FM.
skip. What does that mean? That means that with the radio waves
on AM, it would bounce off the ionosphere, and it could keep bouncing and bouncing and bouncing.
So it sounds like you're describing an acid trip.
Well,
how much acid do you guys do these days?
None.
Is that right?
I haven't.
You've never done it?
I guess there's always a first for everything, though.
What about
We'll
you,
see.
Bob, too? Have you on an acid
All right,
swallow?
Bob.
Yeah, I've done it.
So,
I feel like
He's
that's the
on it
first
right
time
now.
I've ever had.
April, have you got any acid on you?
Oh, no, I'm good. Unless you're in batteries. No,
Battery acid. So are people still doing acid in rock and roll bands?
Definitely.
Well, why aren't you doing it, Chris? You're the
the
singer.
opportunity never arose.
What do you mean opportunity?
I don't know. I mean, I'd do it if it was there.
You would?
If I was in the right place and there was a nice psychedelic flag in front of me to stare at for a good hour or so.
Well, I think you have to be committed to more than an hour.
I
You have to be
know how
up
this
for more
thing
like
works.
6 or 10 hours.
I'm only really
Not
good
that I
at
know that. I read that
drinking
in a
and
book.
playing. I'm not good at doing drugs and playing.
Right.
Because then I get real nervous. Like, everybody's looking at me, and it's like,
Well, I don't think just doing drugs go with playing music, actually.
oh, you should have been there in the '60s.
What was the deal?
Sly
with
and the Family Stone. You ever heard of them?
it? Yes.
Uh-huh.
But what were
They
they?
were the grandparents of the drug culture.
But what are they fucked up on, though? Was it stuff
You
like?
name it.
Was it acid? Can you swallow acid and play?
You can go on YouTube now and look up a video on Sly Stone, and he's just whacked out. I mean, he's still alive. He lives in a van, and he's broke, and
Right.
he can't even hold his head straight. He's like this.
And that's
I don't
because
understand how people function like that. If
don't
I take
either.
a Benadryl, I'm done for the evening.
right.
Yeah, like completely.
find
Well,
a
it's not
couch and
for
some
everyone.
Netflix.
Well, could you imagine doing drugs and then going on air and doing your show?
Not even a little bit.
right.
not
So
even
will
a
you
little
do the traffic on WWL? Right?
Yes.
So how did you get into that one?
I actually have a wellness company called Footprints to Fitness, and
Right.
we
That's how I know you.
Yeah,
Because
that's how most people.
I follow you on.
That's how most
on
people
something.
probably
Footprints
know me
to
if they
Fitness.
know me.
Yeah, because I see lots of great photos of you in like tight clothes, stretching.
You know, if that's what attracts you to the page.
Well, no,
Whatever
it
sells.
shows up on my. Is it Twitter or I don't even know where that is.
I don't
Is it
know.
Instagram? I don't even know where I've seen it.
Oh,
There's
I'm
tons-
on most platforms, but we create fun and unique experiences for people and try to make wellness accessible, because that's not a thing. We have.
Now,
all
you've
of
got a
these-
great voice too, doesn't she, Bob?
Yeah.
I have
She does.
I have a raspy voice.
And a good look, too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So they saw what I was doing in the community and asked
Yeah.
me to be a part of the morning show. So it
So
kind of
they
all worked out
found you.
crazy.
WWL found you.
It was very surprising. Yes.
I'm surprised I never got a call from WWL. Are you, Bob?
I'll
Surprised?
try to line something up. I'll
Well,
move,
would you?
I'll see what I can do.
They just found you out of all the people in New Orleans, for real, though. Seriously.
No, very serious.
And you
yes.
weren't on TV or radio or anything.
Not
You
at
just
all.
had this, but they probably saw what I saw, which is all these great photos of you.
Well,
in
I
super
appreciate
tight
it.
clothes.
Well, you know what?
Where do you get those super tight clothes from?
I like to shop local a lot, surprisingly. So there is a leggings company called Leg Candy that I really like. They actually make their leggings out of sustainable water bottles. So they recycle water bottles, which is pretty cool, and they use headbands. But I shop locally and nationally. Athleta, we partner with a lot.
Athleta.
Yes.
Okay. So Leg Candy, we have a couple of sponsors who make yoga clothes as well.
That's cool.
We have one
Should-
called Louisiana Legs. Have you seen that?
I've heard of them.
Louisiana
I
Legs.
don't have a pair of their leggings, but
We can
I've heard of them.
hook you up with those.
I think
you
you
could do an
should.
endorsement because you're all over them.
I feel like I have a good pair of Louisiana legs.
Let's have a look.
Underneath those jeans.
Cold out. Man.
April, I bet you've met Lisa
Lisa who?
Lumine.
Oh, love her. literally.
She's a character.
Lisa Marie, yes.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
Who is she?
I've never met her.
Oh,
But
she's
I
sweet.
know her father, and I've seen her on TV.
Yeah.
And we've communicated every now and then on Facebook, but
What does she do
never
on TV?
met her.
She's done traffic around the city now. She works for iHeartMedia, and she
iHeartMedia.
has a
Well, I
show.
hope she has a backup job because that's going away apparently, right?
I don't think so.
You didn't
Is
hear
there
that? Isn't iHeartMedia owned by Clear Channel? Bob, you've got to
Clear-
know this, right?
Last I heard, Clear Channel's stock was down the crapper
Yes, that's what
a
I'm
few
talking
days
about.
ago, and they've very much overextended themselves, in my opinion. And what goes around comes around. It started when Billy Tozan sponsored the telecommunications bill in 1996, and all of a sudden, the corporations could own as many stations. They can
Right.
dominate an entire market.
That's
Before,
what killed
you
the whole
couldn't-
radio business.
Sure, that's exactly what killed it.
And so-
what goes around comes around, and if
It's
they go
interesting,
belly
isn't it?
up,
So this would be a good time to
Shucks.
buy. They are going to go belly up. They're going to go belly up in like at the end of April. When because
what a shame.
I know, isn't it great? It's amazing, but all that's going to go away because the Bain Capital, which is Mitt Romney's company, basically they own iHeartMedia and Clear Channel because Clear Channel owes them like literally billions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And Clear Channel suggested to Bain Capital that they sell them that Bain Capital should own 70% of iHeartMedia, seeing they owe them so much money that would save them paying it. And Bain Capital said, what about we just own 100% of it? And they said no, and so now Bain Capital is just waiting them out till the end of April, and they're going to have to take it over. So it's going to be interesting.
The corporation might go belly up, but the stations will remain.
The stations will stay, but you can buy one. Well, that will mean. Would you buy a radio station still?
Not an AM. That's
No,
for sure.
nobody's got an AM receiver. There are no AM stations, are there?
I did my whole career on almost all of it on AM.
It's still in the car. You can turn it on and listen to static.
Yeah, but there's no music.
But if you buy a car
Really,
today,
that's shocking. I didn't realize that.
What?
didn't realize what?
That there's no more AM stations. Really?
Well, how would
Is
you
that-
listen to it?
Well, there's no more AM music stations, really.
Right.
It's all either talk or dollar a holler by the pastors and
yeah.
sports
had
and,
no idea.
and network things and syndicated.
But how would you listen to AM? Can you still get AM on if you bought a new car today?
In your car,
Well,
yeah.
you just do it in
Yeah,
your car.
yeah.
Yeah. They have receivers. But it's just, there's so many different mediums now, you know? I mean, that's what radio, such a big problem, is that you can listen to anything, anywhere on your phone. So,
Right.
why not just do that?
Well, you guys made a CD. I see. I have it in my
We
hand
did,
here.
yeah.
Called.
And you can listen to it on your phone because nobody has CD
well,
players
right, no,
anymore.
that's right. So why did you?
I totally still have a CD player.
Do you?
At home.
Good.
Well, I can give
Is
you
it a
this one.
Walkman?
And in my car, I
Is it-
believe, yeah.
Yeah, really?
You must have a pretty old car.
No.
Yes.
It's 2015.
Is it really? They're still
Yeah,
making
that's-
CD players in 2015. Okay. What is it? What do you drive?
A Camry.
Toyota Camry.
Yes.
2015
I'm loyal.
with
I've
a
had
CD
one for
player.
like 10 years.
Really? You're gonna?
When I get rid of one, I just get another one.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty big deal because you're the traffic person. So you must know a lot about cars.
Not really, actually.
Nothing.
No.
So tell us how that worked. Okay, go back to that for a minute. So you're doing your footprints in fitness, and it's a wellness company, which is
Yes.
like a workout thing, really, or is it diet?
It's more than
and
working
everything?
out. Yeah, no, it's body, mind, and soul. So we do a lot of working out. We do some meditation. We do fun things like cocktails and coloring, which would probably fit a lot here.
Cocktails and coloring. We can do it
Well,
right on the thing.
We literally use coloring books. You can either use abstract books or regular, traditional coloring books. Captain America, Little Mermaid, whatever your style is, and drink.
Is this something to do with
Liquor.
with the acid? No, this is
No.
just drinking.
Just legal stuff.
Where
Just
can
drink
you find
alcohol.
out more about this fun times?
On our website at footprintstofitness.com.
Footprintstofitness.com.
Yes.
Now, what's coloring in got to do with fitness exactly? I missed
Well,
that.
think about the last time you colored. Think about when you did things as a kid.
Okay.
You played hopscotch, you rode your bike, you did all of these things that you probably never do anymore. When's the last time you picked up a coloring sheet and you started coloring? So it's pretty nostalgic, and it kind of helps you just relax and calm down and connect with yourself again. So we try to find unique ways to tap into people's ability to reconnect with their body and just have fun.
And when you say we, who is this?
So I have
Just you?
I have a small team of individuals. So it's me. I have a business partner who is also my fiance. So I'm keeping it in the family.
okay.
And then we have a few instructors that teach different classes or host different certifications around the city.
Okay, when's
so.
the wedding day?
You know, I have no idea whatsoever. I'm a very, very busy person.
Well, who's your fiance?
And everybody asks me all the time.
What's your fiance's name?
He would kill me if I said it.
What?
I'll call him Archer because he loves Archer. So
right.
that's like his.
Archer. Okay.
Are you familiar with Archer, the cartoon?
Nope. Is
Really?
it on Netflix?
So
No,
is
it's on
his
Comedy
name
Central.
Sterling? Is
It's
that
on
why?
Comedy
FX.
Central.
Yeah, we'll go with
I've
Sterling.
seen it.
It's on
Yes.
FX.
C-Rock will know about
Oh,
it. It's
you
on
would
FX.
love it.
It is on Net.
Yeah, H. John Benjamin's show.
It
Yeah,
is.
boys.
It's great.
Incredible.
C-Rock knows everything. That's why
Oh,
he's our
no,
fact check.
you got to tune in.
So this
It's
is your
such a good
fiance's
show.
name is not Archer.
No,
But
but we'll
you
go with
can't
that.
use his real name. for
Yeah,
some
we'll go
reason.
with that. We'll
Why
go with
can't you use
Archer.
his real name? Because he's
Just because he
he's
doesn't
a public,
like
Is he a
being,
public figure?
No, he just doesn't like being talked about, and I'm going to respect that.
And he's a secret agent.
Yeah.
Something like
Also,
Also, the
There's that.
feds. The feds are always watching.
we got him.
So he's getting married to a public. You weren't a public figure until a little while ago. When did you start doing the traffic?
No, I've been at WWL for literally 3 months this week.
3 months this week. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I'm intrigued. Like, so what were you doing before?
I
when-
still
Are
do.
you
wellness
paying
company-
attention,
like,
Chris?
Before you became, they approached you, like, because they just found you. You must have been doing something to, like, get their attention, right?
Well, I was my background in a nutshell. I've been in the wellness industry for 15 years. That's crazy. So I'm like 20. No, not really 20, but we'll go with that.
Everybody's
I tell
21.
people I started when I was 5.
Okay.
But I was a teacher for 10 years, health and PE. So I've taught
At
at
school?
a few different schools in the city, and I didn't get bored, but I just wanted to reach more people.
I didn't
Besides
get
my
bored.
students.
What do you take that to mean, you guys?
Well, no, most people when
Most people would take
they
that
leave
to mean you got bored.
They leave a career when they get bored. No, I love teaching. I always love
You
educating
left it,
people.
even though you loved it. You left it.
Yeah, because sometimes
What made
it's-
you say
things
you
aren't
didn't
just
get
a
bored?
good fit. Because most people who leave their job, they're bored and they
It's
leave.
true.
I wasn't bored. I just wanted something more.
and it's a stigma for teachers to
I wanted to
leave
grow.
3 years after they teach because it's a
Absolutely.
hard profession.
Totally. So I put my 10 years.
All right.
During that time, I started my wellness company because I taught at every major gym in the city, and I wanted to reach more people.
So what are you teaching exactly in these gyms?
Everything. Yoga, Pilates, boot camps, you name it. I probably have taught it or I know how to teach it at some point. And so I created Footprints to make wellness accessible. So we know we're uptown right now. We're on Ferret Street. Many of these businesses are very expensive. Some of them. Wayfair is pretty affordable, but you know that the gyms are located in the area, and people who necessarily can't afford that, they go without wellness services. And I just wanted to create a platform and a community where wellness could be accessible. So either free or affordable. And so that's what
Well, that's pretty commendable, wouldn't you say?
So I can come
I think
color
it's
for
much
free?
needed. Well, not for free.
That's
but we do.
affordable.
But it's affordable.
How much is affordable?
It depends. So our, I would say the most expensive thing that we have is probably $25 for a service. So it's between
the most
free
expensive thing.
and yeah, $25. So I think it's really important to make sure that people are aware that they don't have to pay $300+ a month to stay healthy. It's just
Is that what it costs to belong to a gym?
no, but some places, if you go to boutique studios, sometimes it's like $200 to $300 to be a member of these locations.
And you can't
Which is
color
nothing's
in
wrong
books
with
there.
that.
They don't have coloring in
Exactly.
it? Hey, listen, I have to make you guys play a song right now.
All
So
right.
get it together.
I'm
Get
excited.
organized and then.
This is how we exercise.
Bob, do you do any working out at all?
Who, me?
Yeah, you look fit.
Bob number
What
one.
language are you speaking?
Yeah, you look healthy.
Well, thank you.
Considering
it's
that
all
you
in
started-
the genes.
It must be. Well, you
In the
must do
jeans, GEANS?
Yeah,
Or
G-E-N-E-S.
All in the jeans.
Tight
What's on the
jeans.
jeans?
Okay, so Burris is spelled B-U-R-R-I-S. The album is called Meant to Be, and if you want to steal it, it's on Spotify and so on,
That's
right?
correct.
So we don't
yeah.
have to pay for
It's
anything.
pretty
Oh,
much
you guys are on Spotify.
anywhere-
Awesome.
It's on
anywhere you need
everything.
to get your music for free, it's there.
Okay.
We don't like making money, really.
Well, there's no way to make much money in the music business. But I was
Unless you play
surprised.
weddings.
I've never heard of this band until yesterday when Christian, our music director, told me about they were coming on the show. So I listened to them. I'm shocked how good you are.
Thank you.
I'm shocked how good it sounds for a band I've never heard of. Well, you think you live in a music town where you hear about the music that's going on. We have musicians on the show
But
every
that's
single week.
The insane thing is, like, I bet I could list a bunch of artists that live in this city and make music that you might not have ever heard of because it's such a deep place.
Okay, who
for
are they?
musicians.
Let's write them on the tablecloth.
Let's see, the Tasty Trio.
The Tasty, how do you
like that
spell
name.
Tasty?
Good, yeah.
Just Tasty,
Yeah, just-
T-A-S-T-Y?
That's right. Don't make me spell on air. please.
Trio I can spell, T-R-I-O. Okay, who else?
Let's see. What about Jasmine Ray Beebe?
She's
She
on.
goes by Jasmine Ray.
Jazz Murray, BB. No,
Yeah,
I don't know
no,
her.
there you go. That's
No,
one.
Jazz Murray, I'm writing it down. BB. Okay.
We're going to see one tonight. Loose Willis.
Loose Willis.
Loose Willis. You like that? That's good.
I know those
Be
guys.
some funky bass.
C-Rock knows them. C-Rock, who are they?
Is that McKenna sings with them?
I only know the bass player.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, that's pretty good. That's three we'd never
Wait,
heard
is
of.
it
Tasty
Taylor?
Treat.
The bass player Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Taylor.
Okay.
I saw him at
Are you a
Bacchanal last week.
connoisseur of music?
C-Rock knows everything. That's
somewhat.
why he's the fact
Just label
checker.
yourself as that.
Sure,
Nobody
yeah.
will believe
You
it.
gotta be.
Speaking of Bacchanal, there's Nutrio. That's a good band that plays there all the time. They play there
Nutrio,
on
that's
Play
like
on
the
work.
masculine
some
version
great
of
jazz.
Nutria.
That's correct, yeah.
Nutrio, okay. So what are you guys going to play for us right now?
We're going to do, I wanted to do ones that we had like written since we've been in New Orleans. So this was a song that I was walking outside my lady friend's house at the time, and
Lady
we
friend
were
is a
walking
word we
down.
don't hear that often,
Well,
huh?
she's a dear friend.
You're bringing
we
it
were
back.
walking outside.
Is she
yeah,
a
bringing it
romantic
back.
interest of yours?
Yes. Well, I might as well just say that. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Are you
we're
kicking me under the table,
Sorry.
April, on purpose,
Yeah.
or that was
I
not?
hope-
Okay.
Should
I
we
was
hope
hoping
that
that
she's
if I
listening or
said
not
lady friend,
listening?
it's okay.
Lady
It's,
friend is a
she's
very
good- she's a good
old-fashioned,
friend.
gentlemanly-
She's a dear friend of mine.
Okay.
All
Are you
right,
still
so-
dating her?
No.
Okay. What happened?
So this is a sad song. No, it's about that.
Oh,
but-
it's a heartbreak.
But it's
situation.
not. But the sad song didn't come from her. It came from the drifter man that was outside her house that saw me with my guitar in my hand, and he said, "Is that a guitar?" And I said, "Yeah." And he had like a 40 ounce in his hand, and it's like 11 a.m. And he said, "You want to help me finish my song?" And I said, "No." But she said, "Yeah." So I was like, "Okay." So we sat there, and he started spitting out these verses to this song, and I was like, "Actually, this is kind of good." It was like a very Bob Dylan-esque kind of like long verses. And then he got to the hook, which was, "Now I know why the willow's sad, now I know why the willow weeps, not for the love he never had, but for the love he couldn't keep." And I said, "That was really good." So I recorded it in my phone, and I ran home and I finished it. So I stole this song from a homeless man.
Yeah, basically that's what it sounds like in a nutshell.
Ready? Don't you remember that you said our love will last forever? Now I'm writing you this letter just to make myself feel better and to say what you've done to me. People come and go. In my life there's been a lot of loves I've known. Only you could help me grow all these seeds that we had sown. All you gave was a memory. So I'll sing. Now I know why the willow's sad. Now I know why the willow weeps. Not for the love he never had, but for the love he couldn't keep. Thought that we belonged. Now I'm trying all my best just to move on. All these letters and sad songs could never right all my wrongs, but I'll try them anyhow. And I'll say, now I know why the willow's sad. Now I know why the willow weeps. Not for the love he never had, but for the love he couldn't keep. Now I know why the willow's sad. Now I know why the willow weeps. Not for the love he never had, but for the love he couldn't keep. For the love he couldn't keep. For the love he couldn't keep.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Very nice.
Like seriously, yeah.
Isn't that surprising?
No, like I felt like I should have paid you for a concert just now. That was incredible.
If only everybody thought like you.
Yeah, you wouldn't be starving.
Oh my goodness, that was beautiful.
One day, Bob Dylan will hear that song that you just sang, and you sound so much like him. He'll be saying, "When did I record that?"
I did say that would be like the one song I'd sell and be totally okay. That's like the country song I wrote. I'm like, y'all can have it.
That's beautiful. How long did it take you to write that?
I went home after we met that guy and then wrote it like that day. So it was like it took about an hour.
I know, that was
but
amazing.
It's like
I'm getting your CD.
They manifest over time, so it's gotten better.
That was awesome.
He helped.
How do you? How did you decide to play that one? How do you know which one to play on a day like this?
He doesn't really care. He's like, well, let's just do that one. Let's do that one. And I'm sitting at my on my couch going like, no, I don't. Let's do this one because I'm trying to find things that represent us. And 2 is a hard number because it's like 3. You get 3 chances. Like you can do a soft one, a fast one that you really like. But 2 was like. 2 songs.
Well, you want to do 3?
If we have time. If we run out of conversation, we'll do 3. How about that?
All right. Well, we'll go for a second one. You can play us out at the end with the third one. How about that?
That's great.
It's also interesting because, like, on the album, there's 7 of us. It's a 7-piece band.
Oh, wow.
And then this is really stripped down.
Yeah.
But we do this sort of gig often, just the duo.
So who manages the whole thing? Who's organizing it?
Me.
It's your band.
Yeah. So Burris is my middle name, which is where it came from. We went through a couple different names, but once we found Burris, it works, and it's kind of cool. The idea is that like it starts with the songwriting, but then we have 7 members in the band that were all music majors, classically trained in jazz. So like when we come together, it can take a lot of different forms. We can play a jazz trio, we can play a 7-piece rock band, we can play just a duo thing. So that's the idea behind it, is that.
And are you making a living out of it, or you still have day jobs, or what's the deal?
We pretty much are. I teach as well. I teach private lessons. I love going. Share what I know to the little kids. Yeah, some guitar, drums, that kind of thing.
You could join up with April and make
That's
that
true.
part
You
of the
could.
wellness.
I'd be about it. Let's do
I'm
it.
a lover of music and dance, so it's right up our alley of work.
It's wellness, right? You can
Absolutely.
color outside the lines. You can play some guitar. You can have a
So,
good time.
Bob, when you were a music DJ, did you... I'm over here. Did you...
He's Bob too, remember?
Did you choose music, or was it given to you as a fait accompli, and you just play whatever's in front of you, or did you actually...
It was a lot looser back then. It had to go through your program director. He had to know what's being played, and basically we had this stack of records, and those were the ones we could choose from. But every now and then, we'd sneak one in, and it was no big deal back then. It was so easy to get records played on the air. And I feel for you guys who have so much talent, and I don't really know how you get a song on the radio nowadays. In the old days, each record label would have a local promotion person, and he would go on Monday to all the radio stations and say, hey, here's my 3 or 4 new records for this week. I want you to listen to them. So you'd have to sit there and listen to them with him.
See,
and
you
that's
as
where
a DJ, you would have to sit there as just a regular afternoon drive DJ.
Mm-hmm.
All the DJs on the station would listen to this. Or do they come and hit you up individually, or what?
I was music director, and I would listen to them with the promotion men and make recommendations to the program director, and that's the way he would know how to replace the 3 or 4 that would come out every week.
So you would decide that. And were you involved in the days when they would bribe you with cocaine and hookers?
That's touchy.
Well, you can say
Yes.
Strong
Sounds like a
connection to
yes.
drugs here.
Yeah, we have a lot of drug conversations. Right
It's quite possible I could have been aware of things like that and how it was done.
So tell us how
payola
that
was not.
Well, tell us how that was done. So a guy would come in with a bunch of these four singles on a record, on records, right? They weren't tapes. These are actual singles. And
Singles.
And he would put them on, and it would be like, who were the artists back then? Who can you think of? That was
Oh goodness! In the '60s,
like Sly and the Family Stone, for example.
Yeah, Elvis, the Beatles, Dave Clark Five.
So some guy comes in, a local record promoter in New Orleans, comes in with a Beatles single.
Yeah.
well,
Like he's
they were
discovered
pretty,
something awesome.
They were pretty much
Everywhere.
good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
if the Beatles
Oh,
put out a
sure.
new record,
You're gonna
it
play
was
that.
a run between all the stations to see who played it first.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't even have to listen to it. The
Okay.
first time you heard it was on the turntable.
Oh, really? That's cool. So who would be a more obscure band? Say that would like the Dave Clark Five or something.
Yeah, the Buckinghams,
The Buckinghams.
Captain and Tennille in the 70s.
Okay. Do you guys know these bands?
I love Captain and
Engineer.
Tennille.
I've
Me
never
too.
heard of the Buckinghams.
Did y'all do local music back then as well? Because
Yeah. See, that's what we could do then that can't be done now, and that's why my heart goes out to bands like yours, because you could bring your song to the radio station and be like any of the other promotion people and
Come
let
with
us
enough
listen to
Coke
the
and
song.
hookers.
And
Well, that's
You
what
get
I'm.
a song on.
That's what I'm hoping we're going to get to how this actually worked, Bob. So,
And you
Bob,
could take us out to lunch, or you
Yeah.
could fly us to Las Vegas. Or,
You know, I bet if you
I'm
still nobody does that now because it's independent artists just find an email and then you send the email to the program director and then that's it.
Yeah.
Either they choose to do it or they don't. But if I showed up to a station and was like, "I'm gonna take you guys out to lunch. Here's our CD," they'd probably be like, "Hell yeah!"
They would at least
They'd probably
give
play
you the
it.
time of day. But the
Yeah.
good thing is that there's other platforms now that artists can use, like Spotify, like iTunes. You can put your own music out. There's so many independent artists now where that wasn't even a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
I mean, even 10 years ago, that wasn't a thing that people
Hmm.
did on a regular basis.
But even that is a bit of a problem to a point because it's so oversaturated.
There's so
and
much music
people's-
out there now,
People
yeah.
are just like their attention span, you know.
You're right.
Like we put out things, we put out videos, we put out recordings, but at the end of the day, it's like, can we get a person to listen or pay attention to a video
Yeah.
for more than 30 seconds?
So it's a gift and a curse.
Exactly.
well, the
Yeah.
difference in the old days when Bob was doing it was there might not have been many choices of things to listen to,
Yeah.
but people did listen to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you had an audience at your station, so if you played something, people would listen to it. They'd go to the record store and buy the record if they liked it. Mm-hmm. So tell us what. So the guy comes in, he's got the stack of 4 singles. He's like, here's the Buckinghams, here's Captain and Tennille, and here's the Beatles. So you listen to Captain and Tennille and you go, well, sucks, basically.
Yeah, it sucks.
So then how does he get you to play? What is the transaction that goes on with the hookers and the blow at that point? How that conversation go? Exactly?
I've heard that Blow was the new payola. Payola was in the 50s. That was Elvis Presley
That was
got
cash.
a washing machine, to play to Alan Freed to play Hound Dog.
He got
which
a
we
washing
got-
machine?
Yeah, that was
See,
his
that's practical.
payola.
If
I'd
you're going to bribe
probably
me,
play
bribe
for
me with
watching-
something like that. Food,
Someone hired me for a washing machine. I need one. Yeah.
a TV.
Elvis Presley
Here's a
has-
true story. Now, when I was music director, on one Monday we had a guy that came down from Motown in Detroit. And I didn't know the guy, you know, he just had his appointment. So he came in at the right time, and we shook hands, and he put his briefcase on the desk in front of me. He didn't say anything. He just opened it up, and he had his record that he was promoting in there. He had a ton of cash in there and a 45.
A gun.
Oh, my God.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Okay.
And
What are you supposed to make of that? What did?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you and the intonation being, "This is the money to play the single, and if you don't, I'm going to shoot you." Mm-hmm. Oh, that's how you do business.
That was
in
the
Detroit.
that was the far end of the business. It was mostly like lunches and just camaraderie.
Did you-
We knew them all like brothers, really.
But do you take the money out of the briefcase then?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I would never do that.
No, but
Do you remember the band?
Off the
I would
did.
take the money before the 45. I guarantee you.
But you did take the money, right? I mean, that's what happened in those days. Was
I deferred that one to my superior.
it? To call the
There you
boss.
go,
out
Bob.
there
The
on, okay.
financial advisor.
Don't let Grant get you in trouble.
No, no one's going to arrest you now. There's a statute of limitations.
I was about to
sure.
say, what's the statute of
It's
limitation?
got to be,
now?
right? I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but
So
I'm
you
sure
can be
you know.
honest.
I'm sure Motown didn't have any intentions like that. It was just a joke. I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure it was just a stunt. Right. But so were you like a celebrity? I mean, you were like a star. Would you go places and people would know who you were?
Oh yeah, but it was just in South Louisiana, really.
Yeah, but I mean, it was
good to
local.
be.
That was the whole
Pretty
thing.
cool, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
Oh,
but
being in-
like April does, do people know who you are, April? After 3 months?
No, some, but not really.
Does anyone watch that thing? What time are you on in the morning?
Yeah, it's really, really early. It starts
Yeah.
at 4:30 and it ends at 9.
So you,
yeah,
you have to
super,
be at
super
work
early.
at 4:30.
Before that.
Oh, Lord.
You have to be at work before 4:30 a.m.
Yes.
What time do you
The
have to
show
get
goes
in?
on at 4:30.
So you have to be there at like at 4 or something. And you have to look all beautiful and done up and ready to go.
You know, that's what the people say. So I guess we have to.
I've
yeah.
always thought there'd be a great morning show if it was real. If everyone was
Yeah.
just bleary-eyed and still
just woke up,
hungover.
because
Yeah.
you would associate with it a little bit more. Yeah.
I think it'd be more fun.
Be
and
Well,
you
I will
wouldn't have
tell
to
you that
look-
this is the most makeup I've ever used in my life. Anyone who knows me, I am so chill and relaxed. As far I like sweatpants and a t-shirt, that is my outfit of choice every single day.
That's a
if I
good
could
look.
wear that. So the minute
So
I
what
get
do you
home,
have to wear? You have to wear nice clothes and look
yeah, I
presentable.
mean, we dress professionally, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you know what to do?
What do you mean?
How did you know how to do this? You were a fitness instructor, and before that you were a school teacher.
Yeah.
And now suddenly you're standing in front of a camera and you're saying,
I know it's weird when you
backed up over the I-10.
when you think about that. Honestly, it's just like, so you run this podcast, you're talking to people. Honestly, that's what it is at the end of the day. You're just having a conversation. You just have to learn.
Yeah, but no one gives a
whatever-
shit what I think about anything. But this is a serious situation when you...
You just have to learn what you're talking about. And then any of us can become an expert on something if we just put enough hours in. So you learn what you're talking about.
What
and
is
then you
the
just talk about
process?
it.
So you're standing in front of like a green screen or something? Or?
Yes, it's really, really weird. So people think that there's actually a screen behind you where you're pointing to those things and they're actually on the screen, and it's not. It's just one big green wall. And
So you're standing in front of a green wall,
Yes.
and then you're looking at a monitor that's got the picture of the I-10 with traffic going along.
and
it.
basically I have to translate that efficiently to
You've
everyone.
got to put your
to point-
finger
correct.
on the screen where you think. Are you looking at yourself then on that photo?
Both.
In the screen?
You can, yeah.
I mean, is there a monitor that you can see yourself?
Yeah.
So this is quite hard, actually.
It's challenging. It was different.
Right.
But once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. And are you enjoying it?
I am.
I guess you have to say that. Otherwise
No. I'm a completely honest person, and I don't do things that I don't enjoy in life in general. So if I wasn't enjoying it, I wouldn't be doing it.
So when they came to you, what did they say they were looking for?
So I actually won an award for what I was doing with my wellness company, and they thought,
Congratulations.
"Thank
What
you,
is
I
it?
appreciate it." It was a Millennial Award. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Millennial Award.
These
This-
guys are millennials.
Yeah, we need to get into
yes.
that. How do we?
I'm
do
on
that?
the middle inside of the millennials, I guess. The Spears Group, they're amazing. They host Fried Chicken Fest. If you probably have heard
Yes.
of that.
That was like the first time last year, I think, was fried chicken. Fest.
Last year, so they had 2017 technically was the second year.
This
So
is the Spears Group.
the Spears Group, yeah, they're amazing, and so they do a bunch of different events in the city. They have Dinner en Blanc, which is like an all-white party that they host in different cities.
I don't
So-
think that's legal anymore, by the way.
not that kind of white, but
An all-white party. What do
So-
you mean by all-white?
everyone wears all white.
Oh, you have to wear white
Yes,
clothes.
wear white.
Okay.
But
And
they
all
really
races
do
are
it. Don't
invited.
show up in anything other than white.
Yeah,
All
no,
white
you'll stand
parties
out.
stand out
You'll
very much
completely
so.
stand out. I mean, head to toe, everyone's white. So
Okay.
the Spears Group, they basically they host the Millennial Awards.
And what are they? They're a PR
Yep.
company.
So basically, they thought that I would be a good fit. The station
Yeah.
thought I would be a good fit, and kind of just took it from there. Definitely not something that I planned to spend my end of 2017 and
Yeah.
beginning of 2018, but it's been a complete blessing, and I'm still able to run my wellness company full time, which is great because I love educating people on how to be balanced in New Orleans. I tell people all the time my favorite meal is 5 pounds of crawfish, an order of beignets, and a snowball. And people look at me like I'm crazy. They're like, well, you're supposed to be healthy. I'm a native
So
New
what's
Orleanian.
the-
I've never lived anywhere else. So it's insane that you would think that New Orleanians or, people, if they're transplants or if they're from here, that you can say you never can eat crawfish again or you can never eat crawfish etouffee. That's unreal. So you have to find a way to live in this amazing city that has a ton of unhealthy food, and we have amazing cocktails and bars, and learn how to live amongst all of that chaos, but in the best way possible.
Are you going to write
Struggle.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It
It's
is.
like
The struggle
You
is
should
real.
write a
wellness
book.
is such a great word
I
for
don't
it.
know.
It's about wellness.
Yeah.
You can eat happy, not just healthy.
Absolutely. You can be balanced. So as long as you do everything
Have you
in moderation.
Have you got a diet that includes cocktails and crawfish etouffee?
Absolutely.
For real?
Yeah, no, for
Well,
real.
you've got to write a book then, because you could be super wealthy. You won't have to do the traffic
You,
for too much
you might.
longer.
You're giving me an idea here.
Yeah.
I gotta find a publisher.
Cocktails and crawfish tails. That's good.
Yeah.
Good title.
If you could write that, make a diet book that allows
That
you
allow
to
people to
enjoy
eat everything
the
that they
New
want,
Orleans
yeah.
diet.
Yeah, are you saying you're done with traffic at 9:30 in the morning? You got the whole rest of the day. Write a book.
Yeah.
Come on,
along
really?
with,
You're not
Like, what
doing
are you doing?
anything else.
along with running everything. Yes, correct. Yeah.
You're not making this up. This is true. You can stay
No.
you can stay in the kind of shape you're in
I'm.
and eat
Again,
and drink anything you want.
If
somehow
I
or
could
other.
have crawfish beignets and a snowball every single day. That is not an exaggeration. I would eat that. Now, I can't eat that every day, but I do eat it
Well, it's not
frequently.
crawfish season all year, so you
Yeah,
can't
you're
eat
right
it.
about that.
But
So
you could
it's
eat
Beignet season all year.
Totally right.
Correct. You are correct about that. So yeah, it's all about, I mean, life is about balance. People don't think about wellness as, they think about just being skinny or being fit, but what are you doing it for? You have to feel good and look good also.
it.
So something as simple as buying a new outfit, that's completely connected to wellness.
When you were
You know,
in
you
the
look good, you
you
feel
were
good.
a sensation as
I
well.
was
right?
many moons ago. Now I'm old. I tell people that all the time. But I did it when I was in college. I think it would be really hard as an adult with a job and a career to do it, but it's definitely something that was amazing when I was in college.
To be a sensation?
Yeah, it was cool. I was dedicated. I tell people all the time. I was there when people were still leaving during the fourth quarter.
Well, you had to. Do you get paid to be a sensation? Is that a job?
You do, yeah, it's a job.
Do you get to fly around with the team and go?
No, so all NFL teams, unless there's something specific, like if they want to send them to a playoff game or obviously the Super Bowl, which is something that is unheard of for many teams, they will fly the team out there. But for the most part, all of the cheerleaders or dance teams cheer at the home games.
What's the relationship between the sensations and the players like?
Are
there anyone dating anyone?
Yeah, no, I don't know what it is right now. I'm sure that
what it
there's
used to be
still
when
no
you-
fraternizing. Yeah,
There wasn't-
It's just like a job. Just when
but
you
there
work with
was
people,
no
that's probably frowned upon.
But there was no fraternizing.
No,
There's not like a
whatsoever.
Sunday night thing after the game where everybody goes to a club.
I mean, we went out with each other, like, and hung out with the team.
but no
the girls.
there's no sensations dating players. It's not like
No.
doctors and nurses.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
Surprised.
Do you mind if I ask what year you were?
I was on the team from 2004 to 2007. Okay, cool. So right when Drew Brees came on, I left, and it was only because I had to have ankle surgery. That's it. Otherwise,
Did you?
I would have stayed. Yeah.
Why?
I went. Funny story. So I hurt myself all the time. I'm in the wellness industry, but I use my body a lot, and I wish I had these epic stories to tell. But sometimes it's just like, oh, I turned my ankle wrong and then it broke or something like that. But this is pretty cool. I went snowboarding for the second time, and I was going down a very, very steep hill, and I basically turned one way and my body turned the other way and kind of heard a
skiing
snap.
accident. That
But
sounds-
I iced my ankle immediately because I just took some snow and I tossed it in my boot.
Good thinking.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds painful though.
Oh, it was not
I'm
awesome.
going to have you guys play another song.
All right.
But before we do that, I'm going to tell you about well, you can actually pick up your guitar and play. When you play something behind me while I do a couple of announcements
Like
here.
church, yeah.
Yeah, like church. Very similar to church,
Take us
actually.
to church.
Okay, so Chris Harkeppel from Burris is going to play something while I tell you about these people who made today's show possible. Basics Swim and Gym. We can get a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout and yoga clothes with style. You can get a bikini, a one-piece to cover up. In fact, everything you need for beach and poolside is at Basics Swim and Gym. It's right next to the lingerie store, Basics underneath on Magazine Street, near Jefferson Avenue. Thanks to Hangover Destroyer. Hangover Destroyer is the only all-natural product medically proven to prevent a hangover. If you go to the Hangover Destroyer website, it's hdestroyer.com, and you write the words happy hour in the coupon code, you'll get 30% off of Hangover Destroyer, and you too can seize the dawn. And thanks also to Louisiana Legs that make workout and yoga clothes with designs that incorporate photographic art like Mardi Gras beads, boiled crawfish, wrought iron, and France and caves in China. You can find Louisiana Legs on Facebook and Instagram, and you can buy Louisiana Legs on Etsy. That's a lovely piece of guitar playing, isn't it? I think that makes everything sound gorgeous. What do you call that? Just messing around?
That was an old song. It was called A. It was about my sister.
It's called A.
We don't play it anymore.
Oh, really? Do you have B, C, D, and the rest of the alphabet, or just have the one sister?
Actually, yes. My sister's name is Andrea. Brother's name is Billy. My name is Chris.
Oh,
and
boy.
My little brother's name is David.
Wow. Did they do that? Your parents are a bit wacky. Are they anally weird and retentive, or?
It was an accident at first,
No.
but then they followed it. They kept going. Yeah. It was
What
one of
point
those
did they discover the accident at? What
Well, my
mother
dad's
child?
name is William, so Billy. Andrea was, I'm not even sure who she was named after, but Billy, is actually William, but then he's Billy. And then Chris, I was named after one of my cousins. And then they were like, oh, ABC.
Named after a cousin?
So when but it worked. But when when my little
What
brother
state are
came,
you
he was. I'm from Indiana, actually.
Are you?
Midwest,
That sounds like a Mississippi story.
Yeah, we're all
They
related
named
and
people
know
after
each other.
their cousins in Indiana, too. What city are you from in Indiana?
Indianapolis.
Okay. And you came to school in Louisiana?
I
Instead.
was raised in Lafayette, right down the road. So we went from Indianapolis and then moved down to Lafayette when I was 1.
Lafayette,
So,
Louisiana.
Yeah.
Don't say you're a Colts fan. Are you a Saints fan?
I'm a Saints fan. I don't associate with Indiana. I was only there for a year. So.
Good.
Oh, that doesn't really count, but that's a
Well,
very...
you asked, so.
Well, it's where you are, I guess I did, but so it's a terrible thing when you were born somewhere, but you had no relationship to it. So now you spend the rest of your life telling people you were born in Indiana.
It's true.
It doesn't mean anything to you.
It's not a great
You're like
city.
you're like a dreamer.
Yeah, I guess.
You're like a DACA recipient.
Well, maybe I should just tell people that I'm from Lafayette.
I would.
I'd just say that.
I would say that because it's irrelevant that you've... Bob, where are you from originally?
Born and raised.
In New Orleans?
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I clap into the mic?
Yes, you can clap.
Thank you.
Snaps.
It was my parents' pleasure.
And Bob, Bob too, where are you from? Here?
I'm from Baton
You're from
Rouge
Baton Rouge.
originally,
You
We
were
are.
born and
Right
raised
up
in Baton Rouge. You've got the best hair in the whole
thanks.
show. For
He
sure.
always wins.
Yeah, very nice hair.
Yeah, so
Who-
even though
who
I'm
does your
relatively
hair?
new to New Orleans,
Yeah.
I still feel like I have it's way more home court than a lot of people who are here, you know?
Yeah.
Because I grew up, like I've had family here, so I've been, coming here since I can remember.
We
Right.
welcome everyone.
Oh, right.
Right. What kind of memory do you have? A pretty good memory.
Some things.
Right. Well, you got a 30 on your... What was that score?
That's
Yeah, dude, did you
insane
really get a
still. Yeah,
30?
that's
That's
crazy.
great.
It's a 30 on
Your
what?
first try?
Second try.
I should have hired you to take my ACT.
We should ask everyone
you-
in the band what they got. I bet you I got the lowest score.
What did you get, Chris?
I got a 26.
26.
I got
me
a
too.
29.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
So, yeah.
C-Rock got a 29.
You guys
That's
want me to
Tulane.
meet you?
Thomas, 32. Thomas is
Oh,
smarter than
shit.
everybody here so
That's
far.
insane.
And look where he's ended up. Just goes to show. What are you doing with your 30 over here?
Hanging out with this guy.
You're playing a rock and roll band. Do you remember, Bob, what you got for your ACT?
Oh, no.
They didn't
No,
have
I-
it back then.
They didn't have it back then?
No, I don't think they
April,
did.
what did you get?
That was the
A
Stone
six-
Age.
Y'all, I am not good at standardized tests at all. If you ask me any questions, I know everything as far
Okay.
as like if I'm knowledgeable about it. I took it 3 times. I got a 16, a 17, and then a 17.
That does
Absurd.
sound bad.
Which crazy because standardized tests, it really is. There's
so
flawed, so many
challenging.
kids
Yeah.
learn in
But
so
you're
many
not
different ways.
stupid. That's just the way.
Well, I mean, I
you
would
just
like to
can't
think
your
that I was
test.
fairly educated.
You don't have to
Enough.
be
What high
necessarily
school
smart.
did
You
you
just have
take?
to be a good test taker to pass
Exactly.
standardized.
And
I was a
that's
good test
what I
taker. It
wasn't.
doesn't really mean anything other
You-
than that.
So,
Really?
it goes to
was
show
easy.
you-
But don't you have to know shit, though?
Well, you just have to not think about it too much, honestly. Like, people who are bad test
And
takers,
I have test
it's
anxiety.
because
Yeah.
they freak out about it. They question
Right.
everything.
So
I
all
didn't-
of you guys
I didn't
that are
care
out
enough for that.
there-
I just was
So
like, okay, cool.
Thomas is no
Okay,
smarter
cool.
than April, is what you're saying. Even though he got
Well, you're
double,
smarter than
he got double her score.
You can
Yeah.
kind of get
So,
really
well, what is
far
it? So-
being really stupid, though.
What do these things actually test then?
Test taking skills, really.
Exactly.
It's
So,
learning how- yeah.
but don't you have to get a certain score to get into medical school and
Yes.
so on?
It's not fair at all.
Everybody in medical school who's your doctor who's got your life in their hands is actually just as stupid as you.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, huh?
Well,
Should we?
that's what we're intimating here, isn't it? The
I-
only reason
I
they go
think,
to
like-
medical school is because they know how to test. It can't be true.
Well, I mean,
Some people are good at memorizing things as well, or they're just good at test taking skills, process of
It
elimination.
must
Being an
test some.
expert in
Oh,
one
yeah, I
thing
mean-
doesn't mean you function well at life in general.
No,
at
no,
all.
no. I'm not saying that at all. No, you can still be dysfunctional and be a drug addict,
yeah.
for example. But
Or be a doctor and not have common sense.
yes,
Right.
but still, these tests where you get 30 and 26 and 29 or 17 twice, they must test more than test-taking skills.
They do. You're
they
right.
must have
it's,
some
it's
relevance.
supposed to be common knowledge, and I think it's like a generalization. But of
Yeah.
course, people. I mean, a lot of the general public or kids that are learning can figure out how to work it and know the material and get past it. But there are leaves a few behind, like some
And everyone
savants or
learns
other people that
differently.
learn differently.
Like I'm a visual learner. That's,
Right.
I mean, if you show me something once or twice, I'm pretty much going to get. So it never is like that. So all of you guys that made under a 20 under your ACT, you can still live a normal life.
and be
Amen.
successful and be a TV star.
I don't know about that, but no, I'm just kidding.
Not everybody can be on television, but 17, that doesn't sound very good compared
No,
to
it was
30.
horrible.
And what happened to you when you got that test? Were you all depressed and want to kill yourself as a teenager?
After the third time, I was just like, well, I
Fuck
just
this, I'm going to do something.
wasted my mom's money and my parents' money
What
and
did-
didn't take this
What
test.
did you
costs a
think
lot.
was going to become of you after you got those terrible scores? Did you
Oh
think
no,
you
I
were
knew I was going to be completely fine. I mean, I ended up going to college and I did really well. So
So it doesn't stop
Yeah,
you getting
no.
into college at all.
I mean, now probably, yeah. You probably can't get into college with an ACT score like that.
There
now.
are certain schools you can't or can get into depending on your ACT score, but you can also take you could take the PSAT.
Yeah,
like
you can
or
take
the
other
SAT.
things. Or if your GPA is really good. I mean, if you have
Yeah.
a 3.9 for your
sure.
GPA and then you have a 20 on your ACT.
Maybe the name of the game is not like necessarily intelligence or test taking skills, but knowing how to work the system. You could probably get anywhere if you're smart enough and know the right way to go.
Or we'll just hire Bob number 2 to take all of our tests.
Or you
There
could
you go.
walk into an exam with a briefcase with a gun and a bunch
There
of
you go.
cash and a couple of
I
records in
guarantee you
it.
that'll work.
That's a gun. I wish that it was a 45 record instead of a gun. Wouldn't that have been better?
Well, the 45's records were on one side of the briefcase. The 45 gun was on the other side, and the pack of money was in the middle.
Thank goodness we didn't have cell phones.
It would have been
back
so
then.
cool if you pulled the gun out and shot the guy.
Oh my goodness.
Wouldn't
It
it,
was-
April?
He was bigger than me.
It would be on the news. That's for
Well,
sure.
you'd have his gun and he'd be dead.
I don't know.
Well, that's a different story. What are you guys going to play here?
We're gonna do a song called Ash Tree, and it's about. You know what, Bob? I want you to decide because you're the DJ. So should we do a song that's called Ash Tree that's about one of my ex-girlfriends living down Bayou Lafourche, or should we do a song that we wrote about living in New Orleans and drinking and having a good time?
There you go.
Okay.
That's the way I made it through college. We didn't have the ACT and all that. We drank our way through, and the night before exams, we stayed up all night and crammed. And that went on for years and years.
All right, well then this song is about Bob's life when he was growing up.
Bob
We
number
wrote this
one's
for
life.
you.
Go on with your bad self.
What's this one called?
It's called Over You. Yeah, and it's about just living in New Orleans and not caring anymore and getting over all the past things and relationships you had.
It's going to be good.
Walking down the street, laughing and drinking, up in my stare, yeah, no more heavy thinking. Got my friends, we're just laughing and drinking, feeling loose, yeah, we're getting it, feeling. I used to wish our eyes would meet one last time over candlelight and a bottle of wine. But now I think it's best to focus on something new, like my brand new dancing shoes and my music too. Well, it's one last sad song from this lonely soul, and it's tears of joy and happiness through and through. No more cramps in my style, no more cracks in my smile, because I'm feeling good, I'm feeling over you. Spotted cat is thumping with that old New Orleans sound. There's beautiful people walking all around. Grab myself a whiskey and I shuffle to the center, dancing on my own. Never felt so much better. I used to wish our eyes would meet one last time, with Louis in the limelight and our feet falling in line. Oh, oh, oh. Now I think it's best to focus on something new, like my new best friends and my funky fresh grooves. Well, it's one last sad song from this lonely soul, then it's tears of joy and happiness through and through. No more cramps in my style, no more cracks in my smile, 'cause I'm feeling good, I'm feeling over you. Well, it's one last sad song from this lonely soul, then it's tears of joy and happiness is through and through. Ooh, there's no more cramps in my style, no more cracks in my smile, 'cause I'm feeling good, I'm feeling over you. Yeah, I said I'm feeling good, I'm feeling over you. Ooh, now I'm feeling good, I'm feeling over you.
God, that's beautiful, man. Brought a tear to my eye.
No.
Did it bring you back?
Yeah,
should be
brought
on
all my
somebody's
college
national
days
stage,
back. Nothing
yeah.
like a good drinking song.
Oh my goodness, that was incredible.
That's
Seriously.
Burris's motto.
Well, okay, that is stupendous, isn't it?
No, I mean,
Aren't
I
you
am
shocked,
like
really?
incomplete. I feel like I should again, like, not even be. I feel like I'm
On the
cheating
same planet.
Yeah, no, that was really amazing. You know, your style kind of reminds me of Jason Mraz a lot.
Yeah, I listen to him all the time.
You can totally tell that you're influenced, but I'm like a music head so much, and I love different genres of music. That was incredible.
Thank you.
Seriously,
Yeah, you guys are fucking talented.
you gotta come to one of our classes or events and play while people are working out. Seriously,
We
that
would
was
love
incredible.
to.
That's
That sounds
quite an
like a great
invitation.
time.
You could either play Jazz
Those
Fest
were
or
the-
you could just come to
Those are the
Yeah.
only two good songs we have. Everything else is terrible.
Oh, come on,
No,
don't say
don't say
that.
that.
So when did you discover you could sing like that?
The earliest memory I have of singing is like being in my room listening to Simple Plan and singing along with the CD, or like Good Charlotte, like old punk rock. Old punk rock for me, at least.
Well, you're just a
You know,
kid.
I wasn't listening to AC/DC, but yeah. So I think just like singing along that, and then the first time I really ever sang publicly was in 8th grade for my 8th grade day.
Gotta
Sang a
start
Green
somewhere.
Day song,
Well,
and
hey-
it went well. And it was like being on stage was like it was just that
Right.
captivating moment of doing it. It's like I knew that's what I wanted.
One of my first performances, we played a Green Day song as well. Yeah, and like in junior beta, I think I played guitar at that time. So
What made you start playing the bass? Because that's such a unique.
Okay,
I mean, it's not like you can like carry that around and just learn how to play it anywhere.
well, I didn't start playing upright bass until like senior year of high school. My high school, they bought an upright bass and they wanted me to join their wind ensemble. I was already in band. I was on drum line, and I was playing electric bass some too. But I started playing bass in middle school because we didn't have a band in my middle school, and I finally convinced my parents to let me take guitar lessons about 7th grade. And then they hired the guy who was teaching me guitar to start a band program at my middle school. And then so my 8th grade year was the first year we had band. And since it was new, there was no tuba players. There was like one trombone player. And, you know, he sucked. He just started
on the
playing, you know what I
bass.
mean? So one day in like guitar lesson, my teacher was like, hey, would you mind, you know, playing this concert, playing the tuba parts on bass? You know, it's the same as guitar, less strings. And so I was like, yeah, of course, because I just wanted to play. So I learned for that. I learned the music for that concert. I mean, I memorized. I just went home and like did all my homework and just memorized it, so I nailed it.
And the rest was history.
And at the end of it, a friend's dad was like, "You're a good bass player. You know, there's like plenty of guitar players. There's not enough good bass players. You could probably do it playing music."
It's completely underrated.
And it's
because
just
it
one of
sets the
those,
tone
like-
of the foundation of the zone.
But don't
Right.
you have to have the right personality to play bass? Which is
You got to be like, I feel like you got
chilled out.
to have that.
Which is
two-step where
like
you just-
the
Yeah.
embodies that personality. So yeah.
But yeah, the bass is one where like you grow into the role. Because we were talking about this earlier. I feel like most people, your ear doesn't tend to the bass unless you teach it to, unless you train yourself.
Yeah.
For most people, you know. So even learning to play that instrument, like it took years of studying music and to figure out what I should be doing while I was doing it.
So
you
what are
know?
the other 5 guys doing in this band? They're horn players?
Yeah, we have a violin player who's a Russian. He just got his visa, so he's here for another 3 or 4 years. That's good.
Okay.
That was a celebration.
All right.
He loves to drink, so we're going to go get really drunk with him this week for a celebration. We have a sax player out from Philly. We've got a drummer who's on tour right now with Samantha Fish. And then a keyboard player named Ben from Baton Rouge as well.
Okay, so we can steal the stuff off of Spotify and YouTube and so on. The band is called Burris, Burris. Where can we come and hear you play live?
On Friday, we'll be at Oak Wine doing an acoustic set there.
Okay. I
love it.
Saturday, Gasa Gasa. And then all throughout February, you can catch us on Thursdays at Balcony Music Club. On
Do you have a
Frenchman.
website where people
Yeah,
can look up our
burrismusic.com, Burris music.
Okay, and we'll put a link to it on our website too.
Yeah.
on itsneworleans.com. Well, I'm really glad to have found you guys, aren't you?
Yeah. Bob, one question. Would you have put them on the radio during your time?
Definitely, yeah.
Amazing.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Because in the 60s, it's kind of folk music oriented. And like Bob Dylan, like you said. And that was the trend back in the 60s. You could walk right in with a folk sounding song.
That's going in
So
our
that should
bio
make
on
you
the
guys feel
website.
good. Exactly.
Did you
Yeah,
have to play
definitely.
crap that you didn't like just because someone was paying you? Or
You ever heard of the Osmonds? Try playing them. Sit down in a room for 3 hours a day and play that twice during the 3 hours every day for about 10 weeks. And then a new one comes
We'll
in
take
when
your
that
word
one
for
gets
it.
The
phased out.
Osmonds? That was Donnie and Marie Osmond.
Uh-huh.
That was the worst one. That's the one that sticks in your mind as the worst record you ever had to play.
Pretty much, yeah.
Hope they're
But-
not listening.
But there were bunches of them, really. They came out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
More bad ones than good ones.
Yeah, but you had to play them because even if you didn't, did you have any credibility in those days, or did you play them because you think the audience wanted to hear them, or you played them because you had to play them?
Oh, if we played them, people thought they were cool.
So
they
it was
had to
when
be
if
cool,
you
so they
played-
went out and bought it.
So, but this one,
They
so
didn't
you,
question
so
it.
you had the credibility as a DJ. If you played it, it was cool by definition. Mm-hmm. So why did you play some crap like the Osmonds? Were you being paid to do that?
Just a
Well,
part of the
again,
job.
it goes back to the friendship we had with some of the promotion
Right.
men.
So it's
and-
corruption. Because you didn't believe in it, you just did it for the money.
some weeks, that's all you had to pick from, and you had to
Right.
throw it
I
in.
mean, that
'cause-
still is a huge, like, the music industry is like that. If you know the right people, you have enough money, it doesn't really
Is it
matter the
life like
product
that?
sometimes.
It's still
yeah,
like
of course,
that.
you're right. Like,
Like you were talking about the ACT, it's just working the system.
yeah, right.
Yeah, but what April said was totally correct about the music nowadays is online.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
the direction of the future, because during the years these corporations have been in control since 1996, there would be somebody at the top of the ivory tower that would make the decision, okay, we're going to take this record and we'll put it on all 1,000 of our stations.
Right.
Now, if that's not a bed for possible corruption, I don't know what
Yeah.
is.
I don't think
In
our
fact,
radio ever go away, though. I still listen to the radio.
over the years, I made friendships with a lot of the 60s and 70s singers, working with them, emceeing them and all. And one particular group that was very, very popular back in the earlier days, he said, look, we just cut a new album. How can we get it played on the radio? And I said, I don't know. Nowadays, I don't know. I don't know who you got to grease the palm with or who you bring it to, or I don't know. And it's a shame it has to be that way because it was so free. Your song could have been played back then, really.
It
You
still
won't know.
can,
Yeah,
guys.
sorry you guys are born in the wrong
Believe it or not.
generation. Now you're going to have to spend
You
your
can
life
do
in
it.
poverty. This good stuff rises to the top somehow. It finds a way out.
Oh, yeah.
This is really great, this stuff. So
Thanks.
it's been so great to meet you.
What an inspirational podcast
That's
this has been for us.
Chris Hockeppel and Bob Kling from the band Burris. And the legendary Bob Walker's been here as well. Thank you so much, Bob. It's been great to meet you. I've listened to
My
your
pleasure.
voice over the years many, hundreds of thousands of times.
Thank you.
It's still on WTIX. They're still running those tapes of yours.
No. Oh, the
Yeah,
WTIX
syndication.
I worked for was AM. The
Then-
one that's out there now is FM, and
that's
I have no
different.
connection with them.
And they're not replaying all those old shows of yours?
I don't know what they're playing.
Sounds
I
like
don't
they're
listen.
replaying old shows.
We should get them uploaded on
And
YouTube.
April Dupree has been here as well, who's the traffic reporter on WWL, and also you can find her Footprints to Fitness
Correct.
all over the internet. It's easy to find. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for being here, everybody.
Thanks for having
This
us.
is awesome.
My pleasure.
It's been a great hour. That's been happy hour for another week. Thanks very much. Our producer of our show is, hey, you guys want to play me out here?
That would be great.
Yes, play something behind me while I do these credits. The producer of our show is Graham DePonte. Our associate producers are Alison Moon and April Stolf. Christian Owner is our music director, and John Valois is our music producer. Thomas Walsh is our technical director. And our Facebook live feed director is Asher Griffith. Andrew Searock is our fact checker and social media connector. And our theme music is currently being played by the guys from Burris. This show opening theme was played by Mitch Foreman, which you can find at mitchellforeman.com. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay sober and upright for about 60 minutes, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, it's neworleans.com, where you can also check out many other shows we make here, including lots of hours of happy hour that remain on our website from previous weeks. Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live from Commander's Palace. Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tucker, and our award-winning podcast called Death the Podcast, named one of the top 40 podcasts in America in 2017. You can find all those on itsneworleans.com or on any podcast app anywhere. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and it's batonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on Facebook and Twitter and a bunch of other time-sucking social media as well. On all of it, we're called It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our Facebook page. These photos are taken by Alison Moon. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, thank you for subscribing to us. Take a moment, if you've got one, to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. Our show was recorded live today at Wayfair on Ferret Street in New Orleans. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. Andrew Duhon is going to be back here next week. He's on the road. In the meantime, you can find out exactly where he is at andrewduhon.com, and he has a new album coming out in April. We'll tell you more about that next week as well. Thank you so much for joining us from behalf of me and everyone around the table here at INO Broadcasting and at Wayfair. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you next week. In the meantime, see you later.